Joining us now, someone who knows the debate stage well, who threw his support behind Joe Biden, former candidate and CNN political commentator Andrew Yang. Andrew, how do you think the coronavirus is going to impact the dynamics of tonight's debate, and also just the potential financial ramifications of what this country is about to and is going through?
The coronavirus is likely to dominate a significant part of the debate because it's dominating the news, it's dominating the public's attention. It's one reason why a lot of people, I think, are going to be watching the debate tonight, because everyone's stuck at home, there are no sports. And for Bernie, it's both an incredible opportunity and a challenge. It's an opportunity because he has a very powerful critique of the healthcare system that many Americans right now agree with. And he can paint Joe as a bit of an element or a defender of the status quo that many Americans feel is not up to the challenge of the coronavirus. The issue for Bernie is that because everyone in America is so focused on our own families, our schools closing, being too aggressive is going to not serve Bernie that well. So he has to tread a balance in having a critique, but also not attacking too much, because it's going to come across negatively, since most Americans right now have bigger concerns on their minds and don't want to endorse someone who just seems like they're playing politics.
One can imagine Joe Biden wanting to focus on President Trump and obviously focus on the general election. Do you see Sanders going after Joe Biden? Obviously, Sanders they differ on Medicare for all. Biden has kind of put out olive branches on various positions, trying to appeal to younger people and with some Bernie Sanders supporters. But do you see Sanders, going double barrel against Joe Biden at this stage?
Well, we know exactly what Joe's going to do. Joe's going to pivot towards Trump and the general at every opportunity. And so it really is more in Bernie's hands how aggressive he wants to be in trying to paint policy contrasts. The fact is, Joe and Bernie get along. They're friends. And I think Bernie has a sense of the context of the race and is not going to want to be too aggressive while trying to drag Joe towards policy positions that are more consistent with Bernie's on healthcare, on trying to remedy income inequality, on school loans and education.
I wonder what you make, the other thing that has happened just before this debate is the latest press conference involving the president and the task force. I wonder what you heard today from the White House, from the administration, and also from the Federal Reserve, just cutting interest rates.
Cutting interest rates does very, very little for most of the Americans who are going to be suffering the most. And you just talked about them, Anderson. It's the bartenders, the hotel workers. I just passed a restaurant and it said, we are closed till further notice because of the coronavirus. So think about the chefs, the wait staff, the parking attendants. They're going to go home. And lowering interest rates does nothing for them. That's why we need to put cash directly into Americans' hands in the form of a stimulus, of a dividend or universal basic income that helps keep families able to manage this crisis, because people have been only home for a day or two. But the fact is, we could be at this for weeks or even months. It's unclear when we're going to get an all clear sign, because we don't have very good data on the infection rate or how widespread it is in our communities.
No. Andrew Yang, appreciate it. Thanks. Chris?
Thanks.